Everyone, you are watching Rob's Metalworks, and we are continuing our work in support of the Dark Roots of Thrash 2 tour here in San Antonio. We're at the legendary and historic Aztec Theater, and it brings me great pleasure. Great pleasure. I'm so stoked as a fan to have with me the backbone, the man, guitarist, Mr. Eric Peterson of Testament. Sir, how are you doing? Great to have you on the show.
How you doing? Good to be here.
I really am excited, man, because
Amazing theater.
it is.
Yeah, it's so Aztec and Mayan or whatever, but
it's been here a very long time. Believe it or not, I was sharing with some people that when I was a kid, I have an older brother. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, my brother used to bring me to this theater to watch kung fu movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the 5 Deadly Venoms and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I used to go to those. Those are fun. Yeah, I mean, the vibe in there is very metal, I could almost want to put my corpse paint on and just be all... That's pretty killer, though. It's awesome. Cool. Yeah.
So it's great to have you in San Antonio, man. Great to have you here. So let's jump right into it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We're really glad to be back. It's been a while, so...
When was the last time? Do you recall? Do I recall?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time, but...
I think the last time we caught up with the band was in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Okay.
But great to have you in the Alamo City. Did you get
Austin, was that for that festival for the Carve, or is that a different city? Oh, that's Memphis. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong track.
I can't remember. No, it was when Death Angel was with you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
On that tour.
Good guys. Now we got Exodus, the Mighty Exodus.
Yep.
I got a new record out. Yeah, a little bit.
The Dark Roots of Thrash. Okay, only the 5th show, man. Only the 5th show, and 2 legendary bands. How's it been going?
It's been going really good. We're playing all of our... It was just going to be the first 2 records, and then we added on Practice What You Preach, and we're only actually doing the title track. And I think we did Sense of Omission the first night, but it's just all right hand, just super fast. So it's been a challenge, to have that stamina for an hour and a half of just playing like that. But it's killer. It's really it's a lot, especially Gene playing drums on that stuff. I mean, Louis, was the creator, but Gene
Gene the Machine.
It's just killer.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So let's talk about that. I'm glad you bring that up. Okay, the 2 records like the the Legacy and the New Order really kind of launched the career of Testament, and really it was Practice What You Preach, which kind of broke the band. But those 2 records kind of build the foundation. So when you think back about those, on those records, 30 years ago, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the first record was a compilation of the band of when I first started the band, and not even thinking of playing gigs, just like being a Venom, Merciful Fate, Slayer fan. There's songs like Curse and Legions of Death, First Strike is Deadly, stuff like that, and then the band evolving over the years, becoming a club band, and then getting recognized outside the Bay Area. So it's just a really collaboration of all these different types of thrash. The second record we wrote after we had toured the world with Anthrax. We had done like 80 shows, and we kind of put it more, narrowed it into a ballpark of our sound. But those 2 records were definitely the blueprint of thrash for us. And then Practice was more, to me, I think of not vanity, but it was kind of, we were like, yeah, we're rock stars, kind of, whatever. I mean, we were kids, we were like 25, so it was. They're good songs, but the real, legacy to me, it stood the test of time.
Still fun to play those songs?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, Over the Wall is something that I would write today.
Right.
Like I'm proud of that song. That was like the first song on the first record, and it could be my last song. I mean, it's killer.
You could walk away content.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a thrash song. It's written pretty good.
And earlier when I introduced you, I said the backbone of Testament really, when I think about Testament, people think about Shred, and Skolnick, but I'm thinking, Eric's always been the guy there, Eric, who's kept the band alive to a certain extent, and also the guy who writes all these killer songs and these riffage. So, I know you're a really humble guy, and you won't say those things, so I want to say them for you.
Right on. I appreciate that. It takes both of us to make it happen. I mean, I'm definitely, I'm the sketcher, I'm the guy with the ideas, but everybody colors it in and makes it happen, so I could say that.
So you had a very successful release, okay? The last record did really well, charted really high on the billboards. You're still able to kind of churn, great music out. Initially with the formation of Damnation, when you first, well, that was the first reunion record with Skolnick.
Yeah. Well, Dark Roots of Earth is, it's funny because in the three albums that stick in my head is The Legacy, The Gathering, which was just a brutal record, and the last record where they're just, all the songs are just like, just really mean something. I mean, they're just the way they're arranged and everything. And I think Dark Roots of Earth is a great full circle. It's really melodic. It's got like some of the stuff that we did in our mid-career, just kind of melodic. And then it's got some of the heavier stuff too. So, but the next one's going to be brutal. I mean,
and really that's kind of what I want to talk about, because Dark Roots of Earth already came out like a couple of years ago. So you guys are kind of already, I remember I interviewed Chuck. He was in Corpus in support of Breaking Bands and Shattered Sun, and I had a chance to talk with him a little bit about, what was happening in the Testament camp. He's telling me, like, Rob, we're writing new songs. Can you talk a little bit about where you are in the writing process for the new record?
I would say musically probably like a little bit over half, maybe a little bit more. Chuck's catching up, and the first batch of songs are just like all thrash. I mean, I usually only write a couple thrash ones, and then I go, okay, now I'm going to focus on mid-tempo or, just real heavy. But for some reason, they just all came out like super fast. Wow. And it's pretty, and they're all different too. So I think they'll all be keepers. So I'm pretty excited.
Can you share at this point, like, who will you have recording or producing the CD? Are you going to do it?
I'll probably be definitely involved in the recording. Of course, Andy Sneap is always my first choice. I've actually reached out for him, and he's just like, okay, what century you're going to record it in? He's always messed with me like that. So.
Well, I know you have a long relationship with Andy Sneap, like a friendship. I mean, I've read where you said,
I actually met him in Texas.
Really?
Of all places, yeah.
Share that story.
We met him in El Paso. He was recording. What's the band from Texas? I forgot back then.
Pissing Razors.
Pissing Razors.
Woo!
And it was
Eddie Garcia from Pissing Razors is here tonight.
Oh, okay. Eddie brought him to the show, actually, and we met him on our bus, and we just came back from Mexico and got some mini Coronas, and there's all these Mexicans on the bus. We're all hanging out, including me, and there's this one white dude, and we're like, and he's like talking like this, from England, and we're like, where the hell, how'd you get here? And he's like, yeah, I'm recording, these guys, and that's how we kind of met, we just kind of hit it off that night.
That is a wonderful story.
That was 98.
Yeah, that was when the first Pissing Razors record came out.
Yeah.
Have you seen Eddie? He's here around here somewhere.
No, I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, I chatted with him, and he's here. The Pissing Razors actually are reuniting.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's making his rounds,
and Eddie, since then, he's done front of house for us.
Yep. Yeah, and he works for Overkill.
Yeah, he did a great job, and he's a good guy, man.
Cool, man. Thanks for sharing that story. You're doing these dates, started just a few days ago. It will end out at the end of April, and then I know that you and Exodus are going to do some other shows. What does the rest of this year hold? Will you stop touring, or will you hit the summer hard?
I would say probably everything's I don't really pay attention till it's time because I'm super busy. But what I know so far is that after this we have a couple weeks off and we go to Europe, and we're going to do a lot of festivals, some shows with Exodus. I know South America is being planned.
Sweet.
As we speak right now for I'm not supposed to announce that yet. So yeah. Anyway, we're talking about future dates with Exodus. So there you go.
So now, you're doing this miraculous tour. I mean, I think
we need to get the record done. So my main goal is to get home, in June and finish it up and get in the studio by September.
When would you like the record out? When would you like it out?
Well, it's tough to have it out later in the year because if you put it out past October, people say, oh, that's last year's record and it's only been out for a couple of months. So I would lean more towards like early 16.
Okay.
And that's right around the corner. So.
So,
we serve no wine before it's time, so it's got to be right.
And a fine wine, that is.
Yeah.
So Dark Roots of Earth debuted on the Billboard number 12. Feel any pressure to exceed that?
You know,
Do you think about those things?
I mean, you know, that's great, but you know, it all goes into what else is out there, and you know, I mean, that's killer, that's cool, but for me, it's just got to be a killer record. I got to put it on to be a fan, at least have it in my CD player for a month, and go, man, this is killer.
So personal satisfaction far exceeds all that.
Yeah, I got to be happy.
So cool, man. We're greatly look forward to the next record.
If it wasn't for that, our new record would be out, and I would just piss it out and go, whatever, you know, that's good enough, because I've been told that's good enough. I'm like, no, it's not. So
What have the shows been like now for this tour? Seeing old fans and young fans?
that's great. I mean, yeah, we see both out there.
Sons of original fans?
Yeah, you know,
Grandsons maybe? Who knows?
I haven't seen any grandsons yet, but definitely I've noticed the people in the front are definitely in their 20s,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool, you know. Yeah, it's cool.
Discovering Testament maybe at this age, and then going back and checking out the archives too.
Thrash metal, what's thrash metal? Like, it goes Testament and Exodus.
And you know, when you think about Testament and Exodus, two bands really who have a special relationship because of, you know, Zetro, you know, leaving, and yeah.
Yeah.
What do you when you think about how it kind of worked out, you know, because now you see the grand success that Testament has had and built over the years, and now with Chuck Billy kind of being a really strong figurehead for the band, and him doing, you know, getting involved in other areas. How do you feel now about how the career of Testament has transpired over the last 30 years?
It's great. I mean, it's good to be out there and, you know, pushing the scene and the whole, you know, the whole vibe of metal, and it's all positive to me. So it's, you know, it's all about the music. So all the other stuff is just adding on to give the real purpose of what we're doing.
And I know that you are a guy, you know, just talking to Eric Peterson, cool guy. You're a guy who kind of keeps your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the country, and not only here in the U.S. but across the pond. Are there anything that excites you out there? Any bands that excite you? Any genre? That excites you?
You know, I mean, I was really into. I got the black metal bug for a while, and I have a side project called Dragon Lord. Yep. Which I did for a while, and actually I'm working on that right now. I'm actually mixing it right now.
Wow.
It's going to be out in 16. It's called Dominion.
Will that be your second release?
It'll be my third.
Wow.
And it's going to be really killer. I'm excited about that. But you know, I more lean towards the heavier stuff. So I you know, as far as metal goes, and I haven't really seen anything new within the last 2 or 3 years that's really caught me. But maybe I need to look around. Could you recommend something?
Well, our boy Shattered Sun opening up the show tonight.
Okay.
Killer band. I don't know if you had a chance to hear them.
Yeah. They sound pretty good.
Yeah, they're good guys as well.
They remind me of Soilwork a little bit. They got that kind of like Euro, you know, the keyboards and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah. Great band. So we love them. Also,
are they from here?
They are from south of San Antonio, in a small town called Alice, Texas. Believe it or not.
That's awesome. Now they should do killer tonight. So I'm gonna have to go check them out.
And really, and I'm kind of glad that you asked me, because for me, I mean, in my opinion, Texas has kind of become like a small mecca for all these young new bands. And so we had like Shattered Sun get signed, and there's a band from here in San Antonio called Darkness Divided that got signed to Victory. Then a very prominent band from here in
That's cool.
Yeah. Upon a Burning Body. You ever heard of Upon a Burning Body?
Yep. I've heard about Burning Bodies, but I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, Upon a Burning Body's done very well, signed to Sumerian. So, I mean, a band called Nothing More. Ever heard of Nothing More?
No.
Yep, another...
I'm going to have to look into all these bands.
Yeah, look into these bands, man. They're doing well. A lot of bands from our area.
Or like death metal, or like kind of all mixed together kind of vibe.
Well, like the Darkness Divided guys are kind of like really heavy, kind of screamo, great breakdowns. Their guitarists are amazing, two young guitar players. The Shattered Sun guys, also great shredders, a lot of melody. I kind of like the melody, thrashy stuff.
Yeah, I know it's got to be heavy, but then it's got to have the melody.
Yeah.
You know? I like when it's just brutal, but then, you know, it's got a little melody in it.
And when I think about like
there's a band I just thought of. I'm sorry, the name of it. They are from England, and they're called Anal Nakarath. Have you heard of them?
No.
Yeah, they're killer.
Check them out.
That's pretty brutal. That's the kind of shit I like. That's brutal. Yeah.
And personally, Eric, do you keep yourself busy with anything other than music?
I've got kids, so that's always crazy. That's the other side of me. But yeah, I mean, between music and just being a dad, and
you still live
it's
in
pretty
the Bay?
crazy. Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. Any last words for the people in San Antonio, around the world, who will see this interview?
Yeah, just check out our new record coming out pretty soon, and we'll see you on tour.
Remember, everyone, the band is Testament, brand new record coming out hopefully early next year. You saw the man Eric Peterson of the band only on Rob's MetalWorks.